YouTube, welcome to Groove Builders. I'm Disorderly Cone, and in this episode, we're going to be building a time machine. Not just any time machine, though. We're going to be building the Doctor Who Metal Earth Tardis. And to be totally frank, I can't wait to build this. Groovers, let's get building.
Alright Groovers, welcome to the workbench. Now let's go ahead and open up this TARDIS package. The first thing we're going to see is the instructions and then the metal. Now on working on the light, the important thing to remember is to fold each piece one at a time. If you don't do this in sequence, at the very end it won't be even on all sides. Now when you attach the light to the roof, you're going to push it up from underneath just a little bit. This is going to create a pyramid shape, and then you're going to fold the sides down. Now when working on the sides, I recommend pre-bending all of the tabs and all of the signs first before attaching anything else on or bending them forward. The reason why I do this is you don't want to scratch any of the blue or black paint on the signs or even on the borders of the signs. And also at the very end, it's very hard not to warp those signs, so just make sure you go slow, and if you can, use something a little bit bigger, like a nice pair of pliers, to make sure those pieces don't get warped. Now, the easiest part is building the box. This is actually the cool part in my opinion, because this is building the TARDIS. And these little border pieces are really easy to attach. Just remember to pre-bend them first before attaching them onto the TARDIS to make it easier for you. You know, the Doctor wasn't always going to pick the TARDIS that he got. Originally, he was going to go for another TARDIS, but Clara Oswald stopped him and said he was going to pick the wrong one. And good thing he did, because if he didn't pick the right one, we wouldn't have the TARDIS that we all know and love today. Also, the Doctor has this really cool ability to be able to turn the TARDIS into anything he wants, and that's through the Chameleon Circuit. Now, his TARDIS's Chameleon Circuit for a long time was broken, but he fixed it for a little bit. But then it was mysteriously broken again. I wonder if he really just enjoys that little blue box. Now the doors were a little bit more trickier than I thought they would be. If you have a toothpick to be able to form the hinges on the door, it's going to make your life so much easier. Now this little border piece is also a little bit tricky as well. I recommend placing it on a table, pre-bending the tabs, and then tightening them on the table as well. This will just make life easy instead of trying to juggle all the pieces in your hand. Bending the base piece is pretty basic for most metal models. Alright, now this part can be a little bit tricky as well. I recommend putting the doors in first, and that's just by lining up the circles on the bottom of each door. That's the hinge. And then grabbing that border piece and lining up the doors first, and then lining up the rest of the TARDIS. And the reason why that is because the doors are free floating until we connect them with that border. And by connecting them first, it's going to make it a lot easier for everything to align. There we go. I think we got all the pieces secured. Now we're just going to go around with some tweezers and tighten them up. Now these tweezers as well are not the greatest tweezers in the world. I do not recommend the ones I'm using in this video, and I'm going to post another video later on covering the tools that you might want to purchase when building these kinds of models. Aw, Groove Builders, we're almost done. This is my favorite step. We're going to take the roof and put it onto the TARDIS. Now, when doing this step, make sure that you're taking your time and go slow. You don't want to accidentally scratch any of the paint when turning the last couple of tabs of the TARDIS.
That was pretty awesome, and that was way bigger on the inside than I originally thought. Next time though, Barcelona. Cheers. Groove Builders, let's talk TARDIS. The first thing I want to talk about is the light. The light consists of petals that you need to fold over one at a time and make sure you overlap them. Make sure you go slow, Groovers, and you should be fine. The second thing I want to talk about is the signs. Now, Groove Builders, I recommend taking your tweezers, a pair of detailed tweezers, and just pre-bending some of the tabs. This will help not scratch your signs when you're placing them into place. Also, make sure you use your detail tweezers as opposed to really bulky ones. This will make this process way easier. The final thing I want to talk about is this blue metallic coloring. Now, on other models from Metal Earth, like Iron Man or the Captain American shield, you're going to see the paint come off. This one here was pretty difficult to get off. Even when I did make some mistakes and had to go back and take things off, I found the color sticking pretty well. The only negative I would say is that it's a fingerprint magnet. This thing you will constantly be cleaning, especially if you have young ones that want to touch it, hold it. Just make sure you have some Q-tips on hand just to touch her up and you're going to be fine. Alrighty, Groove Builders, that brings us to the end. I had a great time building a TARDIS with you guys today, and if you had a good time, don't forget to press that like button at the bottom of the screen. For more videos like this, hit subscribe too. I try to release videos almost every single week. Groove Builders, until next time, keep building.